Hi and welcome to the Digest in conjunction today with ELT Central. In this clip, I'm going to help you become very employable while you are still doing your degree. Life is tough. You have to be clever to get on, and I want nothing more than to help you be the best you can be. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. It really does help. And you can also click the bell to make sure that you don't miss any future clips. Today, we're going to look at LinkedIn and how you can make it work for you and how you can be ready to work as soon as you graduate. The 4 questions we are going to look at are: what is LinkedIn? Why would we use it? When do we use it? And how do we use it effectively? Okay, look at number 1. What is LinkedIn? It's a professional social media networking platform. The emphasis here is on the word professional. It's not about your dog, your clothes, your holiday photos, or what you ate for breakfast or dinner. This is not Facebook. It's not Instagram. It's not TikTok, Reddit, Snapchat, or WhatsApp. Again, it is a professional networking platform. Why would we use LinkedIn? Simple, really. You'll use it to build up a big enough and practical enough network to be able to converse with your connections effectively enough so that by the time you graduate, you will walk into a job. Now, the words here are practical and effective. So bear that in mind, all right? Okay, when should you use it? The simple answer is all the way through your university life and after. Your degree is the first step on the employment ladder. And these days, everyone and their dog has got a bachelor degree. So that means you have to stand out more brightly and shine brighter than all of those others who've got degrees too. You need to look at your university life as your job. You don't do school hours anymore. You have to work much harder than you ever did before. And part of that job is to make yourself employment ready. How do we use it? If you haven't already got an account, create one and build your profile. Make sure you use a good professional photo, not showing off how cool you look on your motorbike, in your bikini, or on the beach wearing sunglasses, or certainly not drinking a pint of beer. A decent head and shoulder shot with a neutral background is good. In your profile, you'll need to show off your education, your skills, your experience, and your interests. Education should be in reverse chronological order, as with your work experience. So if you don't have any work experience, don't worry, because you're going to be looking for an entry-level position, and companies don't usually expect 3 years of experience when someone is at the start of their career. Now, obviously, your education and skills are important, but so are your interests and hobbies. These will give your future employer an idea of what kind of person you are. So if you love reading or playing chess, there's a possibility that you might not mix very well with the team. Whereas if you play football, hockey, or jam with the band, then you'll more than likely work well within a team. Once you've got a great profile, the next step is to build and grow your network. And you do that by connecting with people who work in the same areas of industry that you want to work with. It's no good connecting with an oil worker, for example, if you want to be a fashion designer. What you also need to do is connect with HR people at the companies who are in the same field that you want to work with. If you haven't got many connections, connect with me, as I've got a varied network, and then you can connect with your other more industry-focused connections through my network. The most important thing for you is to be selective. Choose people in the appropriate category, in the appropriate industry. And once connected with them, look through their contacts and connect with them too. Again, keep it related to what you want to do in the future, because this is going to make your task of interacting with people so much simpler if you do that. Keeping it related is simple. Click on the search bar and enter the appropriate field. For example, I work in education, and so if I want to connect with other educators, I will type in education. Here you can see there are millions of people in this industry, but that is too many for me to tackle. So I'm going to have to get a little bit choosy here. I'm already connected to a lot of people, and as I'm showing you how to get more connections, what I'm going to do here is click on the second generation. So I don't want my first generation contacts because I'm already connected with them. So I want new contacts. So I'll click on the second generation here. Right, even doing that, you can see again, I've got loads of hits. And it's way too many to try and work with. What you'll also notice here is that they are also scattered all over the globe. And so what I've got to do now is narrow it down. So next, I'll click on location and type in the UAE. That narrows it down. However, there are still way too many. I want to get people who matter and the kind of people who we might be able to help each other in the future. So again, I have to narrow it down even further. So what I'm going to do here is make it really specific. For example, the KHDA, which is the Knowledge and Human Development Authority, is the education authority in Dubai. And so perhaps I might want to connect with someone who works there. So what I'll do is I'll click on the companies filter and enter KHDA. Here we can see there are only 57 people. And I can introduce myself to every single one of them with a very personal message and request to connect. So here I have a look at this one. Hi, Brian. I came across your profile and I would like to add your name to my network of talented and dedicated education professionals. I hope we can connect and I look forward to reading your posts and insights and chatting at some point in the future. What do you notice about this message? Well, it's to save time and, sort of the non-ability to go backwards and forwards between this clip and you, I'll show you. Okay, so what I've put here is I came across your profile, all right? So that means I've looked at the profile. So what I must do is click on the profile so that person has seen that I have viewed their profile. Secondly, what I've done is I've told them they're talented, right? So I'd like to add your name to my network of talented and dedicated professional educators. So not only are they talented, they're also dedicated and professional. And who amongst us do not like to be known as talented, dedicated, and professional? Of course we do. Then what I put is, I hope that we can connect and I look forward to reading your posts and insights and chatting with you at some point in the future. So what we've got here is we've set them up. So we look forward to reading their posts and insights. Now, they might never post and they might not have any insights, but that doesn't matter. We still look forward to it and chatting with you at some point in the future. So Brian now knows that if he accepts my request, which he almost certainly will do, why wouldn't he, that I intend to chat to him at some point in the future. Okay, so how do we make LinkedIn work for us? All right, well, to start with, you have to stand out like a bit of a sore thumb. And you can do that by involving your connections in your conversation. An easy way of getting someone to notice you is by making a post. This is really simple. Again, make it target area specific and Google Trends. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for Higher Education Trends 2022. And if I click here, then we can see I get more than 3 billion articles in half a second. Okay, so that's obviously too many. So what I'm going to do is look at the first page and see what we've got. And I'm going to choose one of those features. So I'm going to have a brief read through the features so I understand what it's talking about. Then what I'm going to do is copy the address bar and make a brief post on my timeline. So this way here. So if we say here, if you're looking for trends to prepare for in higher education, check this out. From the feedback I've received, I'm not entirely convinced we're getting the best from hybrid learning yet. What do you think? And then I've added a couple of people from my network for them to have a look, maybe respond or like the post. And the more you do this, the more people will notice you. Now, whether they respond or not is beside the point. You're tagging them, they will see your name. Do this at least 3 times a week and tag different people each time. Now, if you want to be really thorough about this, make a G sheet, a Google sheet of who you've contacted and when, so that you don't badger them to death. And you can also add details of who reacted and how, and that's going to give you evidence of who might be best to target in the long term. Don't forget, this is part of your job. So you've got 3 years of this while you're doing your degree. And if you do it properly, you'll have built up a seriously good contact list and database by the time you graduate. Okay, let's have a quick recap. Make more connections. Again, make sure that it's related to your industry. Interact with them. Look at their articles or their posts or comments. Comment on them, repost them, share them, ask them questions, involve them, but again, don't stalk them. What you can also do is become a published expert. So if you write for student magazine Get It, which I believe is the only online magazine written by and for students in the UAE. Now, this is completely free. What writing a feature for Get It will do is it will provide tangible evidence of what you've done while you've been at university. For example, We can look at Manal Khan, her piece here. She's moved into finance. She wrote this piece so that she could show it to a future employer that, yes, she's been active in the finance world. Now, again, it could be any aspect of finance here. She could have written about anything, but she looked at e-coins. What you can also do, Getty's also got a YouTube channel, so you can make videos, you can write features, attend conferences, make interviews for the magazine. All of this acts as a kind of internship. So if you're a regular contributor to Get It, if you spent 3 years posting some brilliant information on this platform, you can show that that demonstrates that you know what you're talking about, you've been active in the industry, and you're ready to move on to the next step. Now, over the course of your degree, you will, if you follow my advice, make hundreds of connections that you interact with. By your second year, you can write to each of the HR people in your network and offer your services free as an intern. Notice I didn't say for free. That's right, it's not for free, it's just free. This will give you invaluable experience in a proper role with the company. It will also showcase your willingness and talent while you work with that company. How could this possibly not be a good move? By the time your final term comes around, you can ask your HR connections if they'd mind looking over your CV and if they can offer any advice as to how you can better it. The majority of them will help. Now, once they get back to you, thank them for their brilliant advice, even if you don't take it, and let them know that you'll be graduating at the end of the term and you'll be looking for work. So if anything comes up, you would love for them to consider you, or if they're not hiring, then perhaps they can recommend you to someone if they know a different company who is. If you do your job properly, you should have 80, maybe even 90 companies that you regularly interact with. And the chances are that one or two of them, probably more than that, will be able to help you out. So make sure you keep this up all the way through your university. And again, don't buzz every one of them every week. Once a month is fine, because don't forget, you're doing this over the course of 3 years. And so every month, if they get a notice of who you are, what you've written about, what you've talked about, who you've interviewed, then you will be on their radar. One word of warning: never ever make a cold request directly after connecting with someone. I get stacks of people doing this with me, and it shrieks of ignorance. And I almost always remove the connection and possibly block them. It depends. It's common courtesy to warm up a contact. Now, I don't take cold phone calls, so why would I take a cold LinkedIn begging message? Don't do it. Build your relationships. And what I mean by that is connect with the company, interact with them very slowly, and then again, by the time you've spent 3 years warming these people up and interacting with them and building this relationship, that is when you can send your CV. That is when you can let HR know that you're ready to move. And that is when they're more than likely willing to consider you. Well, that's about it for me. If I've missed anything, buzz me in the messages and let me know, and I'll see what I can do about that. Good luck with your university career and your job hunting and your internships and your writing for Get It and interviews and the rest of it. Right. I hope you found it helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, click the bell to make sure that you don't miss any of our future clips. We're here to help you. If there's an area that you want us to look at in more detail or give you more advice about, again, mention it in the contacts or give me a shout on LinkedIn. Andy Pacino. See you soon.